Before we plunge into the darkness of a grid-down reality, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe. It helps the algorithm, but more importantly, it helps this survival intelligence reach the people who need it most. Now, listen closely. Imagine the silence. It's been 72 hours since the power grid failed, and the comfortable hum of your refrigerator, the distant drone of traffic, and the notification pings on your phone have all been replaced by a heavy, suffocating quiet. You are sitting in your living room, staring at a front door that suddenly feels less like a barrier and more like a suggestion. The reality is that your home was designed for a world of laws, consequences, and 911 dispatchers. It was built for convenience, not defense. Architects and builders created a floor plan that prioritizes flow and sunlight, but in doing so, they unwittingly followed a biological and cultural script that every criminal, looter, and desperate scavenger has memorized. They know exactly where you sleep, where you eat, and where you hide your valuables because they live in the exact same layout. The central problem you face isn't just the mob outside, it is the predictability inside. You are fighting against a methodical predator operating on optimal foraging theory, a biological mandate to maximize caloric and resource gain while minimizing risk and energy expenditure. If you stay predictable, you become prey. But today, we are going to break that algorithm. We are going to turn your home from a soft target into a psychological maze using nothing but household items, basic physics, and a refusal to be a victim. The first step in hardening your sanctuary requires a complete rejection of the master bedroom mindset. In a normal world, your bedroom is your castle. In a collapse scenario, it is the first stop on the looter's GPS. You likely keep your cash, your jewelry, and your primary defense weapon in the nightstand or a closet shelf. Stop doing that. Immediately. We are going to implement the principle of decentralization. You need to split your assets. Take 20% of your emergency cash and leave it in that nightstand. That sounds insane, but listen to the logic. You want the predator to find something quickly. If they find an empty drawer, they tear the mattress apart. They rip up the floorboards. If they find $200, their brain releases dopamine, a chemical reward that signals success. They grab it and move on. The remaining 80% of your cash and gold needs to go where no adrenaline-fueled looter looks, inside the hollow void of a curtain rod, taped behind the baseboard of a laundry room, or inside a deceptive container in the bathroom. You are buying time by feeding their greed early. This leads directly into the sacrificial lamb decoy system. You need to understand that a criminal operating under high stress is looking for an exit strategy the moment they enter. We are going to give them one, but on our terms. Go to a hardware store or check online and buy a cheap fire-resistant document safe. Do not put your actual survival documents in it. Bolt this safe to the floor of your master closet, but use short screws that feel secure but can be pried loose with significant effort. Inside, place some costume jewelry, a stack of small bills, and maybe some expired credit cards. This utilizes satisfaction logic. When the intruder spends 3 sweating, terrifying minutes prying that safe loose, they believe they have just scored the jackpot. The physical exertion combined with the locked box psychology convinces them they have your most valuable possession. They will likely flee immediately to open it in safety, leaving your real supplies, which are hidden behind a false air return vent in the hallway, completely untouched. You trade $50 and a metal box for the safety of your family and your true stockpile. Now, let's move to the calorie bank, your kitchen. In a long-term survival situation, food is more valuable than gold, and your pantry is a display case. The standard stockpile mentality is to fill your shelves with cans, but a wall of food is a beacon that screams wealth. You need to apply the visual audit protocol. Stand in your front yard at night and look through your kitchen window. What do you see? If you can see boxes of pasta and jars of sauce, so can they. You need to apply blackout film or heavy canvas to these windows, not just for light discipline, but to obscure your inventory. But we go deeper. Do not store your long-term survival calories in the kitchen cabinets. Keep the daily use items there, the open boxes, the half-eaten jars. This is your gray man pantry. The real survival calories, the rice and beans that will keep you alive for 6 months, must be stored in opaque, mislabeled bins in the dead space of your home, under the beds in the guest room, in the back of the linen closet, or even under the floorboards of the attic. You are decoupling the resource from the room it belongs in, disrupting the predator's search pattern. We must also address the silent informant that betrays you every single week, your garbage. This is the trash hygiene protocol. In a crisis where resources are scarce, your trash is a dossier of your capabilities. If you throw away a box for a new generator, empty cans of high-protein beef stew, or medical packaging, you are advertising that you have power, food, and medicine. You are practically inviting a siege. From this moment on, you process your trash like an intelligence agency processes classified documents. Burn paper and cardboard if safe to do so. Wash out food tins and compress them. Store them inside a sealed bag in the garage or basement until the crisis stabilizes. Never, under any circumstances, place high-value packaging on the curb. If you must dispose of something, bury it or camouflage it inside the mundane, messy refuse that signals poverty and struggle, not abundance. Your trash should tell a story of desperation, even if you are eating well behind blackout curtains. Let's talk about the physical barriers, specifically the bones of your house. Most people think their front door is secure because it has a deadbolt. That is a dangerous lie. Standard door installation involves screws that are barely an inch long, biting into nothing but soft pine trim. One solid kick from a desperate man, and your door frame splinters, turning your barrier into a welcome mat. You need to fix this today. Go to the hardware store and buy 3-inch or 4-inch hardened steel screws. Remove one screw at a time from your strike plate and hinges, replacing them with the long steel. These screws will pass through the flimsy trim and bite deep into the Took 4 studs, the actual structural skeleton of your house. When you drive these screws into the wall stud, you are no longer relying on the frame. You are anchoring your door to the bones of the house. The difference is kinetic. A kick that would shatter a normal door will now result in a broken leg for the attacker. It costs $5 and takes 10 minutes, but it changes the physics of your security entirely. We also have to harden the space that is most often overlooked, the home office. This is where you likely keep birth certificates, deeds, and passports. In a societal collapse, identity theft doesn't stop. It mutates. A looter might not care about your deed today, but organized crime rings looking for clean identities for the post-collapse rebuild certainly will. We are implementing the data air gap. Remove all physical identity documents from the predictable filing cabinet in the office. Scan them to an encrypted flash drive, then hide that drive in a hollowed-out highlighter in your junk drawer. Take the physical originals, seal them in a vacuum bag, and tape them to the underside of a bottom drawer in a completely different room, like the kids' room or the basement. Fill your office filing cabinet with old utility bills and useless paperwork. If they raid the office, let them steal a pile of paper that leads nowhere, while your digital and physical identity remains ghosted. Finally, we need to address the garage, the arsenal of the enemy. Your garage is likely full of hammers, crowbars, axes, and ladders. If you leave your garage unsecure, you are literally providing the siege weapons a looting crew needs to breach your main house. You must lock up your tools. Run a heavy chain through the handles of your power tools and padlock them to a workbench leg. More importantly, disable the garage door release mechanism. That red cord that hangs down, it's a liability. Zip tie the release latch so it cannot be hooked from the outside with a wire coat hanger, a common trick used by burglars. If they get into your garage, ensure they find a space that is frustratingly useless, not a hardware store that helps them kill you. You are turning their resource hub into a tactical dead end. Ultimately, survival is not about the gear you buy. It is about the mindset you adopt. It is the realization that in a world without rules, your greatest weapon is your ability to outthink the violence. You are shifting from a passive consumer of security to an active architect of deception. You are accepting that the convenience of modern life is a luxury you can no longer afford, and that a slightly harder, more disciplined daily routine is the price of admission for survival. You are no longer the victim waiting to be saved. You are the strategist lying in wait. Now go back to that opening scenario. The power is out, the street is dark, and you hear the glass break downstairs. But this time, your heart rate doesn't spike. You know the drill. You know they will find the decoy cache in the living room. You know they will kick the reinforced door and hurt themselves, slowing them down. You know they will grab the fake safe and run, thinking, they've won, while you sit silently in the shadows, fully supplied, fully secure, and fully in control. You haven't just survived the encounter. You have engineered it. Normalcy is gone, but you are still here. Tell me in the comments, what is the one convenient habit you have right now that you know is a security risk? Let's discuss how to fix it. Stay sharp, stay hidden, and survive.